February 1, 2012. Anchorage, Alaska. She screamed, but no one heard. 18-year-old Samantha Koenig was dragged out of her coffee stand at gunpoint. The snow fell quietly. Her footprints were still fresh. Inside her father's home, the porch light stayed on all night. What no one knew was that the man who took her had already killed before. He had murder kits buried across the country. He didn't choose victims. He chose towns. And no one suspected a thing. This wasn't a random crime. It was the final clue in a mystery stretching over 10 states. This is real. This happened. Subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because what we're about to show you will change the way you think about safety. February 1, 2012, 7:05 p.m. Anchorage, Alaska, USA. Snow fell gently over Anchorage. The streets were quiet, white, clean. 18-year-old Samantha Koenig was working alone inside a small coffee kiosk, Common Grounds Espresso, a tiny shack near the road. She texted her boyfriend. She wiped down the counter. She waited for the next car. A man approached. Black hoodie, ski mask, quiet. He pointed a gun through the window. He didn't shout. He just said, "Turn off the lights." She froze. Her hands shook. She thought it was a joke. Then he stepped inside. A single camera watched. Blurry. Black and white. It showed her hands going up. Then the two walked away. She was never seen alive again. That night, Samantha's father waited at home. Her bed stayed empty. The porch light stayed on. February 2, 2012, Anchorage Police Station. The next morning, her father walked into the police station. "My daughter didn't come home. She never does that. Something's wrong." Police checked the kiosk footage. They saw it, the man with the mask, the gun. They knew this wasn't a runaway. But what they didn't know was that Samantha was already far from them. Same night, Samantha was bound, gagged, cold. She was kept in a shed. The man turned up the radio, loud, to drown out screams. Then he left. He boarded a plane to New Orleans. For 2 days, he was gone. She was alone in the dark, tied, still, terrified. When he returned, she was gone. 2001 to 2012, across the United States. His name, Israel Keys. He wasn't from Anchorage. He wasn't local. He was calm, clean, smiling. He had no criminal record. He paid in cash, slept in his car, and buried murder kits. Across Washington, Texas, Vermont, New York, Oregon, Wyoming, Arizona, Indiana. In forests, in parks, near rivers. Each one filled with guns, ropes, zip ties, drain cleaner, shovels. He called them his kill kits. And he never killed in the same place twice. Born, January 7, 1978, Richmond, Utah. Raised in a survivalist, off-grid home. No electricity. No running water. Isolated. He read the Bible. Listened to no music. His father preached fear. His mother taught obedience. By age 14, he was skinning animals alive for fun. By 16, he broke into homes, just to watch people sleep. Anchorage, 2011. To neighbors, he was polite. He had a daughter, a girlfriend. He built fences, fixed roofs, drank coffee, laughed. He even helped people look for missing girls. But at night, he was planning. He would fly to random cities, drive hundreds of miles, choose a home with no lights, wait in silence, then break in. Backyard of Keys' Anchorage home. Back in Alaska, Samantha's body was still with him. He kept her in a frozen shed, then used her phone to text her family. "I just need some time. I'm safe. Don't worry." It was a lie. She was already dead. He sewed open her eyes, took a photo to make her seem alive. He demanded ransom, $30,000. The family believed she was still out there, but she wasn't. March 13, 2012, Lufkin, Texas. Israel made a mistake. He used Samantha's debit card. In Texas, the FBI traced the ATM location. They pulled him over. Found a mask, a gun, Samantha's card. He smiled, quiet, calm, and said, "You got me. This is a real story. Every fact you hear is public. You can check it yourself. If real-life mysteries leave you breathless, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story, because the next truth we uncover might hit even closer to home." In a white room, with no windows, he told the FBI, "I've been doing this a long time. There are more, many more." He confessed to at least 11 murders, but only 3 were confirmed. He wouldn't give names, only maps, only cryptic clues. Like he wanted to remain a riddle. He told agents, "I never kill close to home. I bury tools years ahead of time. I pick towns, not people. I never kill children or dogs." He seemed proud, smiling, calm, always in control. But something cracked. December 2, 2012, Anchorage Jail. They found him at 5:57 a.m., dead in his cell. He had slit his wrists with a razor-hidden pencil lead. Drew 11 skulls and blood, one with upside-down crosses. Left a suicide note full of riddles and death poems. He took his secrets with him. Samantha's family never saw justice. Dozens of families never got closure. To this day, many believe he killed more, maybe even dozens. And his murder kits? Some may still be out there, buried, waiting, forgotten, in the woods, under snow, beneath your feet. December 2012, Anchorage Jail, post-death. When Israel Keys died, he left more than blood in his cell. He left 11 skulls, drawn in his own blood, lined across the floor. One had red eyes. One had horns. All were staring up at the ceiling. What did they mean? 11 victims? Or 11 that mattered to him? FBI agents stared in silence. They knew this wasn't over. Agents sat across from him. Fluorescent lights buzzed. He sipped water. Calm. Smiled. Then spoke. "You won't find them. I planned this too well. No one ever saw me. No one ever will." He gave them 2 names. Just 2. Samantha Koenig, Bill and Lorraine Currier. The rest? He gave only hints. June 8, 2011, Essex, Vermont. Bill and Lorraine Currier lived a quiet life. No enemies. No drama. They went to bed at 9 p.m. By morning, they were gone. Neighbors found the house open. Glasses on the nightstand. No blood. No sign of struggle. Just gone. Like they vanished into smoke. Essex, Vermont, abandoned farmhouse. Keys confessed, he flew from Alaska. Drove 1,000 miles. Dug up a kill kit he buried 2 years earlier. He broke in through the window. Tied them up. Dragged them to a broken-down farmhouse. He shot Bill. Then tied Lorraine to a chair, the report said. He assaulted her. Then strangled her. With his hands. He covered them with trash bags. Left them in the basement. Burned the house. It was torn down. Their bodies never found. The FBI made a map. 10 states. Dozens of lines. Each line marked a possible kill. A night in a motel. A strange bank withdrawal. A gas station off a dirt road. Keys had no pattern. He was chaos with a calendar. Order in destruction. He once said, "I could have gone on for years. I was never going to stop." The FBI found one kid in New York. Buried under a rock near a riverbank. Inside, silencer, duct tape, plastic bags, ammo, rope. Another kid was found in Alaska, frozen in dirt. He had planted them 3 to 5 years before using them. Sometimes longer. He would fly, rent a car, dig up the kit. Then choose a victim nearby. Not for money. Not for revenge. Just for the kill. Surveillance cameras showed him shopping at Walmart, waiting in line at airports, holding his daughter's hand. He blended in. No one looked wise. He once smiled at the agents and said, "I had a double life. You'd be shocked how easy it is." 2007, Washington State. A woman disappeared while hiking. Her body was never found. Keyes had visited the area weeks before, bought gas, slept in the woods. The FBI believes she may have been one of his, but with no evidence, no confession. Her case remains open. They believe there may be as many as 20 more. A psychiatrist once reviewed his tapes. He said, "He wasn't insane. He was calculated. He followed strict personal rules. Like a code. His rules: never kill close to home, never follow a pattern, always pay in cash, burn evidence, travel far, never speak of it again." He used Ted Bundy as inspiration. He called him sloppy, but effective. 2001 to 2005, unconfirmed kills in Washington and Oregon. 2006 to 2009, suspected murders in Texas and California. 2010 to 2011, Vermont, New York, Wyoming, Indiana. 2012, Samantha Koenig, Alaska. But the exact number of victims may never be known. The FBI believes his first kill was in 1998. What if he walked into your store? What if he smiled at your child? Would you have seen the signs? Samantha didn't. The couriers didn't. No one ever did. He didn't leave clues. He erased them. He lived in the cracks of the system, and died with the map still folded. This is not fiction. Every detail is part of a real case that you can verify yourself. These interviews are public. The murder kits were found. The confession tapes are archived. Keyes was real. And he may still have victims that no one has found. His final words were never recorded. He died before he could name the rest. Today, Samantha's photo still hangs in her father's home. The porch light never turned off. In Vermont, an empty lot sits where the farmhouse once stood. The wind still blows through the trees. Quiet. Cold. Waiting. And across America, under rocks, in forest beds, his kits may still be buried. His secrets still hidden. Have you heard this story before? Do you think there are more victims still waiting to be found? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. Nationwide, unknown forests and fields. They were called murder kits. And they're still out there. Buried in dry riverbeds. Hidden in state parks. Left under logs in remote woods. Inside, guns with scratched-off serial numbers, zip ties, ropes, ammunition, silencers, Drano, latex gloves, shovels. Each kit was a plan. A plan for a murder Keyes had not yet picked. He once said, "I don't pick people. I pick places. The person just happens to be there." Where did he go? Investigators believe he may have traveled to Chicago in 2007, Salt Lake City in 2009, Phoenix in 2010, Dallas in 2011. Receipts, car rentals, ATM activity. It all points to possible murders. But no one has been able to prove who the victims were. He worked in silence, one agent said. That was his greatest weapon. Keyes followed no pattern. No race, gender, or motive. He chose targets of opportunity. Someone alone. Someone vulnerable. A house near the woods. A car in the dark. He once told the FBI, "I didn't have a type. Just windows. Moments when no one was looking." He waited. He stalked. He struck. Then he smiled. A quiet man in a crowd. During his time in Alaska, he recorded himself. Home footage showed playing with his daughter, painting a room, shoveling snow, laughing at a joke. On the same days, he was researching missing persons. He led a dual life, devoted father by day, methodical killer by night. Upstate New York, 2010. In a small town, a couple disappeared. Their truck was found in the woods. Keys still in the ignition. No bodies. No suspects. Locals whispered about a stranger renting a hunting cabin weeks before. Later, records showed Keyes had flown into the region. The FBI believes he may have used that cabin as a kill site. But the bodies were never found. The land was never searched. After his death, agents found pages from a torn-up journal. He had written in code, drawings, poems, symbols. One line stood out. "The ghosts are silent, but I hear them still." Another, "No grave will hold me. I live in their memories." Was it guilt? Or pride? No one knows. He booked flights using fake names, used cash, rented cars in nearby cities to throw off timelines. In 2011 alone, he flew to Chicago, Houston, Seattle, San Diego. He kept no phones, left no digital trail. It was a nightmare for investigators. One FBI profiler said, "We've never seen someone disorganized, and this terrifying." He had one weakness: his child. She was his reason to stop, and maybe his reason to die. In one interview, he said, "She's getting older. I don't want her to grow up and learn who I am." That's when agents realized he didn't plan to live forever. In his last FBI session, he spoke for 5 hours, then paused and said, "I think I'm done now." He smiled, drank water, asked for a peanut butter Snickers bar. The next morning, he was dead. The lights never turned back on. This is a real story. Every fact you hear is public. You can check it yourself. If real-life mysteries leave you breathless, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story, because the next truth we uncover might hit even closer to home. The families still wait, still search, still cry. One mother said, "My daughter vanished in 2007. Now they think it may have been him. But I have no proof. No closure." Another, "There are people who never made it home, and he may be the reason why. Many of Keyes' victims may never be found. He chose remote spots. He buried deep. He burned everything. He didn't want headlines. He wanted silence. No trophies," he said. "No memories. Except in here." He tapped his head. The FBI still works the case. Over 40 cold cases may be tied to him. They use DNA analysis, missing persons reports, travel logs, forensic soil testing. But they have one problem. Israel Keyes is gone. And he took the truth with him. What if you found a rusted bucket in the woods, wrapped in plastic, full of tools? Would you open it? Would you know what it was? Because they're still out there. Buried. Forgotten. Waiting. Keyes never wanted fame. He wanted fear. He didn't leave messages on walls. He didn't seek attention. He wanted to be a ghost. And in many ways, he became one. Vermont, June 2009. A young nurse named Deborah Feldman went missing. Vanished from her home. No break-in. No robbery. Just gone. Years later, during questioning, Keyes said, "That one? That was in Vermont. That's when I started to feel addicted." Her body was never found. But the FBI now lists her as his first known murder victim. After Keyes died, agents opened boxes of notes. Loose pages. Random words. But hundreds of hours of interviews were never transcribed. Video files were misplaced. Officers had rotated out. The team broke apart. Some evidence is still missing. One agent said, "He was careful. But we weren't. He got away with more than we'll ever know." Houston, Texas, April 2011. He rented a car. Drove 1,000 miles in under 36 hours. Gas receipts show stops in Amarillo, Wichita, Little Rock. That same week, a couple disappeared in Louisiana. Their bodies were found weeks later, in different counties. The MO was similar. The timeline matched. But no one can prove it was him. Keyes left almost nothing behind. No memoir. No grand manifesto. He didn't want to be known. He wanted to control fear, even after death. What we know came from interviews, purchases, travel logs, bits and pieces. But his full list of crimes? We may never know it. In his cell, Keyes drew 11 skulls. Each was simple, outlined in ink, numbered. He placed pentagrams beside some. He shaded others with red. Investigators believe each skull equals one victim. But only 3 are confirmed today. So who were the others? Each new tip leads to a wall. Missing persons cases don't match. DNA hints come back empty. He worked in the shadows, an analyst said. He's the perfect criminal. And he's dead. But victims have families. And they still ask, was it him? Midwest, unknown. Keyes once mentioned a frozen lake kill. He said he wore snow boots, waited in the woods, dragged the body across ice. That winter, a man in Minnesota went missing. His snowmobile was found at a park entrance. His boots were inside. His gloves were dry. No body ever surfaced. Keyes didn't use cell phones. But sometimes, by mistake, he left behind shoe prints, fiber threads, surveillance glances, parking receipts. One time, he walked too close to a gas station camera. Only half his face visible. But enough to raise suspicion. Still, no one caught him. Not until Alaska. In the FBI room, Keyes once paused and said, "I shouldn't have said that last part. I got too comfortable." Agents never shared what he meant. But one agent said he went silent for the next 20 minutes. Face pale. Breathing shallow. They never got that part on tape. Some believe he may have confessed to a known cold case, and took it back. His daughter now lives far away. New name. New home. She was 10 when he died. And may never know the full truth. A therapist once said, "Some ghosts are better left quiet. But this one whispers loud." We must ask, can someone be both father and monster? On December 2, 2012, the prison went quiet. No alarms. No chaos. Just a man, lying still. The guards entered. They found the blood. The note. The picture. And just like that, his story ended. But ours didn't. Because every year, a new file is opened. And Keyes' name is whispered again. This is not fiction. Every detail is part of a real case that you can verify yourself. Israel Keyes existed. He killed across America. And many victims may never be found. He didn't look dangerous. He blended in. Smiled at neighbors. Fixed his truck. Picked up his kid from school. And that's what makes him terrifying. He could be the guy next door, the quiet co-worker, the man in line behind you at the store. Alaska still remembers. So does Vermont. And Texas. And Washington. Places where people vanished. Places where he smiled. Places where kids may still wait under snow and leaves. One detective said, "Every time we close one door, he's already 3 steps ahead." Israel Keyes was cremated. No headstone. No service. No final words. Just nothing. But his victims? They deserve more. They deserve names. Justice. Answers. The room is dark. The files sit on a shelf. Cold cases. Empty folders. Missing names. A voice asks, will we ever know the full truth? The screen fades to black. And a single line appears. And today, the woods still whisper his name. Have you heard this story before? What do you think truly happened that night in Vermont? In Texas? Or under that frozen lake? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. Anchorage, Alaska, February 2012. The police station was buzzing. They had Keyes in custody. Samantha's ATM card was found. The car. The disguise. The money trail. But there was no body. And Israel Keyes smiled. You won't find her without me, he said. And I only talk on my terms. The FBI was called. The room was set up. The games began. Keyes said he'd confess, but only if they followed his demands. No media leaks. No identifying him publicly. No photos released. His daughter never sees his face on the news. He wanted control, even in chains. The agents agreed. Then, he started talking. Keyes admitted to bank robberies, at least 6 across 4 states, arsons, stalking random homes for fun, burying kill kits as far back as 2001, planning murders up to a year in advance. "I never killed anyone I knew," he said. "That's how you stay free." He bragged about using payphones, avoiding cameras, traveling far for no reason, just to confuse investigators. He talked about Bill and Lorraine Currier, the couple in Vermont. They were perfect. No kids. No dogs. No alarm. He picked them at random. Waited till dark. Broken with a crowbar. I tied them up in their own house. Then took them to an abandoned farmhouse. There, he beat Bill. Sexually assaulted Lorraine. Then shot them both. He hid the bodies in a debris pile. The farmhouse was torn down a year later. The remains were never found. An agent asked, "Did you ever feel bad?" He smiled. "I liked it. The feeling. The rush." He described murders with no emotion. No stutters. No regret. Sometimes he laughed. He hinted at 11 victims. But only 3 are confirmed. The others? Scattered. Buried. Forgotten. "I'll never tell you everything," he said. "But I left clues." One note mentioned, "If you find the red cooler, you'll know." To this day, no one has found it. This is a real story. Every fact you hear is public. You can check it yourself. If real-life mysteries leave you breathless, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because the next truth we uncover might hit even closer to home. He buried them years in advance. Items inside: guns, zip ties, ammunition, tape, shovels, drain cleaner, maps, disguises. Over 10 kill kits have been recovered. But some are still out there. Still buried. Still loaded. Waiting. Israel Keyes didn't stop killing because he got tired. He stopped because he got sloppy. He used Samantha's debit card. In his own state. On a camera. The FBI said. He could have gone for years. Maybe forever. But he broke his own rules, just once. He wasn't abused. Wasn't poor. Didn't hear voices. Didn't hate anyone. He said. "I wanted to see what it felt like. I liked when people screamed." Experts say he was a classic organized psychopath. He planned everything, but he also wanted to lose control. That's why he killed randomly. So no one could ever predict him. When guards found him dead in his cell, they found a note, written in blood. It was poetry. Disturbing. Dark. "There is no escape from blood, from screams from me." It never mentioned names. Only madness. Beside his body was a drawing. A skull. Covered in pentagrams. Red eyes. A serpent coming from the mouth. He titled it, "We Are One." No one knows what it means. But some believe it was his message to other killers. A tribute to evil. Some detectives believe there are bodies hidden in frozen lakes, under barns, inside abandoned wells, in national forests. But without exact maps or confessions, those bodies may never be found. He hid death in plain sight, one FBI agent said. And we walk over it every day. After his death, investigators checked camera footage at hotels and gas stations he visited. One showed a woman entering a room, and never coming out. Her name, still unknown. In 2011, Keyes visited a county fair in Texas. Alone. He bought a funnel cake. Watched children ride the carousel. That same night, a 14-year-old girl disappeared from her trailer nearby. To this day, no suspect was charged. But Keyes had rented a car in that area. And the timeline fit. Coincidence? He loved hiking trails. He'd walk alone for hours. Sometimes, just to map a murder site. People vanish in the woods all the time, he said. That's not suspicious. That's nature. He claimed to have left bodies in 2 different national parks, but would not say where. "Let the animals finish them," he said. Families of the missing still wait, still search, still hope. But Israel Keyes took those answers with him. And that silence is worse than death. He studied other killers. He praised Ted Bundy. He mocked the Zodiac. He said, "There's more like me, but smarter." Was he warning us? Or was it a final trick? After his arrest, a cellmate said Keyes once flipped a coin. Heads, he'd talk. Tails, he'd lie. Every answer he gave might be false. That's the final horror. We'll never know what was true. No grave. No body. No funeral. Israel Keyes disappeared into ink, fire, rumor, and silence. But the victims? They are real. Their names deserve to be spoken. Their stories told. Evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it wears a smile. Have you heard this story before? What do you think truly happened in those missing years? Could he have killed even more, or were there others with him? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. Watch the next video on your screen, or explore our full playlist. The next story might be even more shocking.